Ding Coango, an influential and powerful Marcos crony, and Ninoy's own cousin-in-law. In his meeting with his handlers at the Carlston Hotel on August 19, 1983, Air Force Master Sergeant Pablo Martinez asked them who ordered the hit on Ninoy. His handlers told him their orders came from businessman Ding Coango, a Marcos crony, whose business empire still remains one of the biggest in the country today. It was not the first time Coango's name would surface, nor would it be the last. Ernesto Herrera was a member of the Agrava Fact-Finding Commission that investigated the Aquino murder. He recalls how a general would visit him almost every night during their investigation.
I know one general who used to come to my office every after hearings and asking, why don't you include in your investigation Ding Coango? And we asked him, do you have evidence?
To date, there is no direct evidence linking Ding Coango to the murder. The Aquino family, for its part, refuses to even consider the Coango angle.
My mom and my dad were very, very close to him and to his wife. When we were little, they got together at least maybe 3 times a week to have dinner out and see a movie. And I don't think he's one to kill his fellow man. So I really don't see it in him that he will have that in his character or his personality or his person to be killing or ordering the killing of somebody else, much less my dad.
Marcos always blamed Salas, the head of the Communist Party, for killing Aquino.
Imposibleng mangyari yun dahil nga si Ninoy ay yung aming pinakamalapit, pinakamatagal na kaibigan ng kaliwa. At si Ninoy yung aming napipisil noon na papalit na presidente.
As the murder happened at a time when Marcos was gravely ill, the palace had reportedly turned into a snake pit, with rival factions jockeying to be in the best position in the event the dictator dies. Many people suspected Imelda of ordering the killing.
Hanggang ngayon, si Imelda may ambisyon maging presidente. No? Hindi pa rin nawawala yung ambisyon ni Imelda. Pero kung nandyan si Ninoy, definitely out sila. Alam nila yung pag-uwi na yun ni Ninoy, bibilangin na lang yung araw nila noon ng dictatorship. Talaga, doon sila naging desperado.
But to this day, Imelda brushes aside all allegations.
Who really killed Aquino? First of all, Marcos was not stupid. And I was not evil. Hindi nga ako nagkurot miski sinong tao. I have not even pinched anybody or how much more kill. I was completely shocked and saddened. Because whatever you say, he's a human being and he was a friend. Even Ferdinand, every time they would be together, they would be for hours laughing, talking.
I think it's possible that Imelda Marcos knows everything that her husband did and certainly had a great deal of influence on him. I just think that sometimes the intrigues are overemphasized. I think that Marcos was in charge, and I think that the buck stopped there.
And so, the popular notion remains, Galman was the fall guy. The soldiers did it, on orders of Marcos.
I think that the country knows. Maybe there's a minority who still believes that it wasn't Marcos, but I think the majority of the Filipinos believe, like us, that it was Marcos.
Almost 3 decades after they were first sent to prison, the soldiers have again come under fire for failing to protect Ninoy Aquino, for failing to speak sooner, or for failing to speak the truth, if not the whole truth, at least most of it.
Probably among themselves, they made a vow that we should bring the truth to our death. They participated in the killing of a very important leader of our country. They are made of different stuff, you know. And remember that they are soldiers. They're trained to kill.
Yet even those who doubt the soldiers' claim to innocence wonder if Marcos could have ordered the murder. Some say he was too sick at that time. Others simply think he was too smart to turn Ninoy into a martyr.
I don't know whether it was he who gave the order, or his wife, or General Ver gave the order. Who knows? But it was a mistake. And because it was such an egregious error on the part of Mr. Marcos, I tend to believe that he just wasn't in it at the time. There is a tendency in my mind to think that the decision was made by somebody stupid, like his General Chief of Staff.
The statements of Martinez have opened a new can of worms, breathing new life to a murder that is as much covered by mystery as it is by fact. Martinez's statement only affirms the belief that the murder was all part of a military conspiracy. But still, the question remains, how far up did the conspiracy go?
The evidence that we gathered point only to these military men who were charged later in court and convicted. And so everybody can speculate, especially Filipinos, so we love to speculate. But you have to prove that.
Ferdinand Marcos died in lonely exile in the United States in September 1989. His most loyal officer and the second most powerful man in the Philippines, General Fabian Ver, also died in exile in Thailand in November 1998. Both of them died without shedding any light on the Aquino assassination, taking whatever secrets they had to their graves. Sergeant Martinez, the man who spoke too late, was released in 2007 when he turned 70. He was granted executive clemency. He is now a born-again pastor ministering to the prisoners of the National Penitentiary, his home for some 18 years. 3 soldiers died while in prison, and in 2009, President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo released the remaining 10 convicted soldiers on good behavior. All of them applied for an absolute pardon, hoping they can still claim soldiers' benefits before they die.
Thank you. Yeah, come on.
"27 years after a gunshot rang out on an airport tarmac, Martinez's story raises more questions than answers, and stories that we had always assumed to be true may no longer be so."
I've been fighting for the truth from day one. And thanks God, I am surviving, and still at this age, I still have the energy to stand up and run and do so many things because I'm energized by the truth. And truth is God. And if you're in the side of the truth, nobody can touch you.
But there are those who say that the whole debate is meaningless, that in the end, it was about a man who chose to return despite the odds. In life and in death,